Good evening. Oh, no, it's afternoon still. I'm sorry. Good afternoon. My name is Neil Leslie Gilbert, Williams Jack's nephew. And for those who don't know, I've started creative writing groups. And basically, what happens is that the group sits and then the session begins, and the coordinator would say what to do. On this particular occasion, we were to write about a true habit or event interested from a caregiver. Inherited from a caregiver. That's the option A. And option B was to write about a specific memory about caregiver. I believe I chose option B, and I wrote within, I don't know, something like 20 minutes or something, an epilogue from a real occurrence of how I became the founder and is an honorary professor of the cardiovascular resuscitation. I was made a professor. In fact, I've never been a mister. I've always been a professor since turning an adult. So, yes. Anyway, it began. It might be hard to hear to begin with, but please bear with me. If you hear it to the end, you shall understand what happened. And it begins. My new chum. Before I start. I've written the end at the beginning. So this is how it starts with the end, or an epilogue of the end, and then it goes into the story. So here we go. My new chum, a feisty younger student, and I was talking about an event, a previous event, recent. He said, sorry about being sick in my mouth. I said, it's okay. Just glad to have you back with us. He asked, did you taste it? I said, sort of. I said I would have preferred it fresh, as in the fresh food, but it was okay. A couple of other students overheard and started to look at me in shame and started telling everyone around that I had a student sick in my mouth and was disgusting. That went on, but I'll go into the story, and it begins. It's not a story, it's an account actually, it's an occurrence. Another Thursday swimming lesson at Duran School. Everyone settles here as it's possibly the only area where danger lurks. Maybe on the stairwell, on staircases, other places. Just reading my writing, I haven't got my glasses on. It was involving a mixture of age groups on this particular lesson. The school had only one swimming pool. Although we often had trips to a local swimming pool, the school had a pool. The pool was approximately 12 metres by 25 metres in size and was with a shallow end and a deep end. We were allowed floats to assist us with treading water. As the school had diverse mixed backgrounds of students, the safer and general grammar, the banter and general grammar was varied. I recall some students being violent and some not. I recall some students being loud and some not. I recall some students being shy and some not. Towards the end of the lesson, I witnessed a younger student having trouble with two twins. This was a disagreement and didn't look serious. I left the pool with the younger student being told to do things like shut up. The younger student was being kept from leaving the pool. I said, let him go, guys, to the twins, and one replied, we will, just telling him to not be rude. I left the pool for the changing rooms and thought I'd keep an eye out for the younger student. The teacher, Miss Thomas, who asked me to get everyone out of the pool and into the changing rooms, as I was a sort of a prefect, asked if everyone was out. I replied, just going to check, because I didn't see the twins and the younger student in the changing rooms. Who didn't I went to check on the three who didn't follow the twins and student didn't follow into the changing rooms. I turned the corner out of the changing rooms to see the twins coming into the changing rooms. I proceeded to look for the younger student. I entered the pool area and couldn't see anyone. I assumed the younger student, was in the girls' changing room. As I turned to check, I saw as a student motionless, dead, in the pool. I had nervous fright and decided to jump into the pool and get him out. He, the younger student, was drenched and filled with pool water, which I understood he had drowned. I wanted to help, but thought how. I thought about how the body works. He needed to breathe, so I thought to substitute his breathing by blowing into his mouth and pressing on his stomach. So it was to inhale. The action was to breathe into his mouth, blow air into his mouth, so he inhales, and then push his stomach, so he exhales. And then I'd repeatedly done that to simulate the breathing, to try and get it going again. I thought it might work anyway. And exhale by pushing the stomach out. I thought I thought that the breathing and pushing would need to quicken. I recall there being water in his mouth, and I remember my mouth being choked with water as he was waterlogged. I carefully cleared his body from the water and continued to breathe into his mouth and pushed his stomach repetitively. I was approached by Miss Thomas, who said I should stop messing around with him, as she thought I was trying to do something to him, like molest him, I suppose. When she realised, she said to carry on, to continue with the action. I think I explained to her briefly what was happening. I continued with vigour as I witnessed his stomach diaphragm move when I blew air into his mouth and pushed the air out through his stomach. Suddenly his eyes opened. I stopped, but he wasn't breathing, so I carried on. I then got nervous, a nervous fright, thinking I will not be successful. But as his eyes opened, I continued. It was in about the 6th minute when he coughed and gasped for air. As I disconnected my mouth from the vomit and sick entered my mouth, which came in such a force that it entered my mouth and I swallowed uncontrollably. I was unable to control my mouth, and the chemical went inwards. I swallowed and coughed and so on. I said, pleased to have you back with us. I asked for his pulse and stats to be checked, as I know that there's a certain time and so on, and have him monitored. Days later, the entire class, upper level classes, had a set of lessons about resuscitation. The lessons was rolled out after I explained my theory and practice to Miss Thomas. A special assembly was called, and I was given an honorary qualification of professor of the cardiovascular resuscitation. I founded that. So I'm professor of Earth, of the resus of planet Earth. So everyone's under my care and can be resuscitated, and has been resuscitated. I don't know how many lives I've caused as being saved, but I haven't been paid for it, but I hope that someone will get round to sorting that out. Anyway, wishing you all well from Professor Neil. Goodbye.